Hello, my name is Travis Wisecup, and I'm a computer science major. I'd like to discuss the benefits of understanding software programming and game design in video games. One of the most important aspects of a video game is its game engine. But video games didn't always start with game engines. The main reason behind this is because of the limited amount of memory that computers could store in the beginning. As you can see in the chart there on the screen, memory has certainly been more available in computers over time, and it was in the early 1990s when id Software made the Doom engine, which is one of the more widely accepted game engines, known to be the first game engine. It basically houses the art components and the programmatical components, such as functions. It's modifiable, which lets the users or the people who have access to the game engine to swap out those art components, so you can see different designs for walls and enemies or weapons, even other things. Now, they had built this in the early 90s, and it kind of let the modding community to take off from there. So behaviors and assets are pretty much what is the biggest thing about game engines. As you can see here, this is a screenshot from a game called, it's one of the Zelda games. So these arrows here are just pointing at some of the different things that are assets. The shield, for example, something that the main character can pick up in his journey, is an asset. The set of arrows he's carrying is also an asset. Even this set of icons next to the D-pad icon is an asset. The 3 hearts are an asset. The mini-map is an asset. As you can see, pretty much everything you see and interact with in the video game is an asset. It includes 3D models. It includes the mini-map. It includes any information that the game is trying to display to you. It includes the inventory screen that you have access to. And behaviors are what manipulate those aspects, such as when the main character will take damage in the game. That means that it will update the 3 hearts in the corner there to indicate that the character has taken damage. Or when a weapon breaks down, the weapon will be removed from your inventory. Anything that manipulates assets on a small scale or on a larger scale is a behavior. And game engines house assets and behaviors. How is this helpful? Well, as you can see here, it lets you recognize patterns. The sort of patterns you'll see can be anything from something simple as the screen you saw earlier with the shield. Is most shields that look like that in that game are going to have the same durability, meaning that it can take a certain amount of hits, and once it's taken that amount of hits, the shield breaks down. So if you pick up another shield that looks like it, you can expect that sort of behavior to be a recurring pattern. Easter eggs are little secrets within video games that programmers put in for people who like to explore the entire video game, because it's not always necessary to explore every aspect of the video game to beat it. To find those Easter eggs, if you understand the mechanics of the video game, you can understand that there are certain paths that you will be able to take, or certain actions that might affect something that you wouldn't normally think of doing on certain items, such as maybe striking a rock with a sword. You might not think to do that, but it might lead you to an Easter egg that you wouldn't normally think about. These Easter eggs can include anything from treasure chests that have unique items, or maybe some note that has some silly saying or some nonsensical stuff, but they can be fun and interesting to find. Common game mechanics will be certain game mechanics that are usually carried across genres of video games. So if you're playing a fighting game, the way those fighting games typically work are very similar to each other. If you're playing a racing game, you know that you can accelerate, you know that you can brake the vehicle, you can put the brakes on a vehicle to stop or slow down. You typically know there's drifting in racing games. But maybe some of the more important things is spending less time frustrated, because you know what you are capable of doing within a video game. You'll spend less time doing things that you know are not capable, and spend more time doing things that you know you can do, which leads to working smarter and not harder. What this all boils down to is, if you understand game mechanics, you will have more time having fun playing the video game rather than not having fun. You'll learn from those patterns. You can learn from others by watching YouTube videos and hearing podcasts, about people playing video games. And maybe more importantly, you can learn from your own experiences. Keep an eye out for those patterns. See what works for you and what doesn't work. That is all.